Hello everyone. Today I have a wonderful combination from Eckhart and Dr. Bruce Lipton about how you find your way to joy, back to joy, or even maybe it has never been joyful. And there is ways and there are possibilities, many different ones, to create this new joyful life in your life. Yes. I want you, first of all, relax and listen to Eckhart, what he has to say about our program of living an unhappy life, living in anxiety, in having sorrows, always unsure, uncertainty. What is the English word? Doubt, having doubts. It's good that it's not in my vocabulary, this word. But I was full, and I still am full of doubts. I'm working on it, and I'm still doing practicing. And the practice is what we will explain to you later on. Me and Dr. Bruce Lipton also has this approach. Well, he has different methods how to approach this. And now I let you just lean back, take some deep breaths, and relax into this wonderful talk, this interesting talk about your own self, about your unconsciousness and your consciousness and how they work together, and who is really working your life, who is doing your life, who is creating it. Take your cup of tea, a warm water, and then just take that me time and be very curious and open to soak up this information and get into action.
Life is not meant to be continuously challenging, to bring up, to put obstacles in my path, so it seems quite often. And to say, well, what is wrong with life? And some people take it personally. They say, what's wrong with my life? There's something very wrong with me. Or they take it personally and say, there's a God who must dislike me, because I encounter one obstacle after another. And so that is an underlying assumption in many people's mind, but that is delusional, because these challenges are meant to be there. They are an essential part of being here for a little while in this dimension. And if it were not for the challenges of everyday life, big and small, there would be no awakening of consciousness. So through the pressure of challenges, we are being awakened. And not only humans, every life form experiences life as precarious and fragile and often difficult. Many obstacles have to be overcome, not only for humans, but for all other life forms. Even a blade of grass has to overcome obstacle until it finally comes up out of the soil, and it's every animal. So every bird can see how alert birds are when you observe a bird. You could say the bird looks really present, and compared to many humans, not you, the bird is actually very present. When you observe a bird, you see the bird goes like very present. But it's been like that for hundreds of thousands, a million years. It has to be alert, because if this alertness is there, it has survived. This has been generated over thousands and hundreds of thousands of years. That alertness, if the bird, all the birds that were not alert, they disappeared. They got eaten up. The bird was the livelihood, the survival of each individual bird is continuously precarious, and the bird has to be alert. So the bird is being forced into that state of alertness. This is just one little example. And I know from my own life, and many of you know from your life, that you have gone through a certain amount of suffering in life. There were challenges, there were problems, you had to confront them, unhappiness arose, and at some point something shifted in you. At some point there was a deepening, there was an awakening, and at some point you realized that the greater part of, to use a generic term, suffering or unhappiness in your life, which is, unhappiness is huge in the human consciousness, a huge weight in human consciousness. The greater part of unhappiness actually arises through a dysfunctional use of your mind, and not so much the circumstances of your life. And that's an interesting realization, that it's the unhappiness that you experience, even if there are big challenges, small or big. The greater part of the unhappiness you experience arises through certain kinds of narrative in your mind. Certain stories that you tell yourself about life, other people, or yourself. And that's an interesting realization which you can verify at any time.
Thank you very much, Eckhart, for these wonderful explanations about these unhappy feelings that we create every time, every minute, every second. We are producing it from where? From our unconsciousness field, where all the programs are stamped in from our childhood time, that make us repeating it all over again, and it's just happening. It's something we not consciously do. It's something that gets done by us from our unconscious programs, as they have the maximum power and the maximum control over us. It's like breathing, like the heartbeat. All the automated programs where we are not consciously having any influence on are this is the type of program that runs our creation in our life, our experiences, our whole behavior. That makes us always repeat similar experiences. Yeah, so I'm really happy that I found Dr. Bruce Lipton here, as he really goes into it from a scientific view and explains it very well in his scientific language. Yeah. And later on he will also point out some methods, how you can really go into your system and reprogram yourself, because it's not not consciously doing by affirmations. If you're talking to yourself all the time, any type of affirmation information, it is a good thing, it's nice, but it's not really working, because it's working against the unconscious mind. They struggle with each other, and then you are rather stressed than and you know that when you tell yourself stories where you feel unwell, where you feel something is not feeling good, then you know already your unconsciousness has another program, and it's not accepting that one. So, and then we have to find ways to get over it, to get this out of the system. And like Eckhart talked before about his time as a young teenager, I mean, that was perfect timing where it all came out, it all came together. His whole program reflected on him, and that's what often in our teenager times happens, that our whole system, the consciousness and the unconsciousness, do argue with each other many times, because we are developing the conscious mind in that time. Until 7 or even more, we have no conscious mind, because we have no programs to go to refer to. We are learning. Until then, we are learning. We are soaking up everything. We are recording a tape, and that tape in your teenager years starts playing, and then your consciousness wants something else, and so it starts to fight with each other. That's what I could explain with this bad feeling in these times. In a way, yeah. So, and now I want you to really enjoy the next talk from Dr. Bruce Lipton, who I find is really, really profound and very mind-opening. He uses wonderful anecdotes and then metaphors to explain things, like with the tape I just said, the record tape. He will use that to explain how we get programmed, and also he uses a kind of expression to say our unconsciousness is a processor, a huge powerful processor, and the consciousness that has only influence of like 3% of into our behavior and everything in our life. It is like a small, slow processor, and it has no chance against the huge, fast processor of the unconsciousness. So we can only work with the unconsciousness, and there are techniques, and he will name them and tell you, and later on I will try to explain them a little bit more deeper, and maybe I give you some exercise, let's see, and and then be happy about getting a wonderful free coaching session from me here, where we use also a method, a very deep going method. that is very deeply connected to emotions. And that's what also they both didn't point that out on their talks, but and it's quite some time ago these talks have been said, huh? So these days now they have even more experience and more knowledge, and that is the addition of emotions. Yeah, as emotions have a strong impact on how fast and how persistent a belief gets imprinted into your subconscious mind and works there. Dr. Bruce Lipton mentions this a little bit for one sentence, but it is so much more important to, if you really want to have the fastest way of change and really immediately want to change your life. Yeah, the other ways are more taking more time. Yeah, and still they are fast. And a combination of both is, of course, the best you can do. Yeah. Okay. Now enjoy the next talk.
These programs can change a belief you had your entire life in maybe 15, 20 minutes. Many of them create a state of super learning like you were when you were an infant. Yet there is a better and faster way even. The mind has two parts. The subconscious mind is the original brain, and it can process 40 million bits of data from the environment every second. The mind is very powerful and very fast, but it's totally habitual. It's not creative. It can only play back what it learns. In evolution, the front part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, gives rise to consciousness. It's a small piece of the brain that is consciousness. Self or consciousness is an add-on option, and most people don't exercise the option. But note, it can process only about 40 bits of data per second. The subconscious mind is 1 million times more powerful. While the subconscious mind is fast, the conscious mind is slow at processing. That's why when you're in an emergency or stress, you operate from this one, because it can operate fast and handle lots of data. But the difference between the two is this is habitual. It is the conscious mind that is creative and can generate free will. The conscious mind can control anything in your entire body. They used to say there were parts of our body that were involuntary control. But now we know that's not true. For example, yogis can regulate their heartbeat, their blood pressure, or body temperature with conscious mind. So while the conscious mind can only handle a few things, the subconscious mind can do many, many thousands of tasks at the same time. Now, recently, neuroscientists are talking about how your unconscious really shapes your life, your decisions. What they say, according to cognitive neuroscientists, we are conscious of only about 5% of our cognitive activity. Most people, 1% of their day is in the conscious mind. So every day, you create only from your creation mind, your conscious mind, only about 1% of what is going on in your life. And therefore, 95 to 99% of your life comes from your programming in your subconscious mind. Your life does not reflect what you want, it reflects the program you were given. So one way out is consciousness. Just be conscious and then you don't play the tape. A second way out, clinical hypnotherapy, because that puts you back in the same brain state that you were in the learning period. And then you can put a new program and rewrite the tape. Yet there is a better and faster way even. There's a group of new psychology modalities called energy psychology. There are many different versions. For example, holographic repatterning, body talk, EMDR, EFT. The one I am most familiar with is Psych-K, P-S-Y-C-H-K. These programs are like pushing the record button on the tape player. These programs can change a belief you had your entire life in maybe 15-20 minutes. Many of them, like Psych-K, create a state of super learning like you were when you were an infant.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Bruce Lipton, here for your wonderful talk about all these reprogramming methods here, how to go into our subconsciousness mind and reprogram us. I have even experienced a method that is called Psych-K that Dr. Bruce is talking about, from a person here close by where I live. She is the only one here in Switzerland training this with a certificate, and I've experienced that, and that was really wonderful. Yeah, this is really a combination of kinesiology and and this programming in combination. And it's a method where you can, where you kind of it's like an energy method, an energy. You will like open up your subconsciousness. You will completely relax. It's very important to be very relaxed. It's like when you're going to sleep, to come into that theta stadium. And then you will tell yourself these new programs and imprint them into your system. And with the kinesiology, you will check if it worked or not. Yeah, it's a very simple but very effective way. Yeah, and the other way that I'm coaching here, when you have your free session, well, which could be that I'm using it, is a very deep emotional way. Yeah, to create new emotions, experience and create these new emotions, connected with a new program. Yeah? And that is also a very, very wonderful solution. I've experienced that by myself as well, and I felt really, I intensively felt a change inside. Yeah. Yeah, it goes really deep, and that's what it needs. To me, I would explain it like an ultrasonic bath, where you, with the vibrations of emotions, you go and dig into your system, into your subconsciousness, and you dig out. It's like the vibration vibrates the wrong program out and installs that new program. And of course, the thing is, you have with your new program, you need experiences to get them stamped, to really have them implanted new. If you only implant this sentence and you have no experience then from then on, it will then fall back. it will easily fall back. It's like a road that has been created by driving that road many times, a natural road. And when you want to make a new road with a new direction out of it, to just think of it, it doesn't happen. You have to drive it so it gets deeper, bigger, larger than the old one. And that happens by, first of all, wanting, believing, and doing. Wanting, believing, acting, and then experiencing. The experience is important here. And this is where I want to encourage you to really take a coaching, because it's so hard. I know how hard it is to get over to this experience and to see that experience. Sometimes it happens, you experience it, but because you're so used to the old way, like your eyes are still on that old path, that you cannot see that you already had made a new experience. And then you will easily fall back into your old way. It is really not easy. You need help to do that. You need guidance, you need support, you need someone on your side. Always like on the road, on the Autobahn, on the motorway, you have these metal pieces along the sides that guide you, that can guide you to stay on that road, to not go away. And that's all that is coaching there for. And of course also to go deep and to dig into these things and to reprogram, to help you reprogramming, to help you feeling this reprogrammed feeling, to support your system to come into this joyful, supportive vibration that both Eckhart and Bruce talked about. But I don't want to make too much advertisement, but I just know from my own experience that it's like how can I say that? You need a trainer on your side. When you want to win an Olympic game and you do it all by yourself, you will not be able to. Well, it will be so hard. It will be so much harder. And it shouldn't be. It doesn't need to be that hard. And it could be that hard finally that you give it up, and that's not the way it should be. So and to really allow yourself to go such a step and say, wow, okay, I will take that path. You really have to know for what you want that for what you want to do. Why do you want to change? Why do you want to have a joyful life? Why? If you have no why, you will not start anyway. You need a big why. I know that from my own experience as well. Definitely, for sure. So what else could I give you? Yes, I could give you a little exercise here. I can do with you a resonance field healing. But that goes too long. Maybe I do that in a separate talk here. Exercise talk, let's say. I'll make an exercise, a resonance field exercise for you, a guided one, so you can just follow, and we do the basic beliefs that most of us have installed that are not supportive for our joyful life, for our successful, for a life where things come into our life that we would like to have, that we would love to have. That's much better. But anyhow, always become aware. That helps so much. That's what Bruce said in the beginning, the first method, to become aware of your programs. That's the first step, that you start stopping things that don't support you, that you recognize them and then stopping them. Yeah, that's the first step, and that helps a lot. That already changes your life 90 degrees, let's say, or even 180. I mean, I had a huge change just by this first method that I got to know. Becoming aware, watching myself talk, and that's what I can tell you. Watch your self-talk. Watch what is your brain spitting out, what kind of thoughts. Yeah. Okay, and now I want to let you go into your day or into your night and just remind you of who you really are. And today, tomorrow, you are always this, the greatest lottery win in your life and the life of all the others as well. You're just perfect here the way you are. The perfect puzzle piece here. And now I wish you a wonderful day, and don't forget to look my email up in the channel description if you would like to use your wonderful free gift of this wonderful coaching session with me. Yes. Looking forward to meeting you very soon.